Hello, 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 everyone. I am
ちょ
Clockwork
っとエモい感じで終わりましたね。次のゲームがスーパーマリオ64の最終日の豪華なラインナップのスタートがこちらのマリオ64のタイトルです。で、カテゴリーが70スターということで、70スターどっかで見たなって思ってたんですけど、今ちょうどそのチョンプでお話しされているのを聞いて思い出したのが AGDQ でやってたんですね。ただ AGDQ でやってたのはちょっとスター一つずつでリレーでやりましょうっていうちょっと変わり種な本当にイベント向けのちょっと変わった形で披露してたものなので、70スターは70スターだけどちょっとまあ予想が違った感じだったんですけれど、今回は奏者さんを一人で走らせてるっていうことで、で一応そのスター70枚っていうのがマリオ64の中で、正規で最速でクリアできるスターの枚数、最後のステージに最後のボスステージに入る前の無限に続く階段っていうのがあるんですけれど、それを突破できるのがスター70枚集めた段階でっていうことなので、ちょっとそういう正規のルートでクリアできる最低条件、最速クリア条件がスター70枚っていうことですね。一人一個ずつ取るやつ。前回の AGDQ なのでまだ記憶に新しいかなっていうところではありますけど。
It's me, Mario. Let's eat that penguin. Let's eat that penguin. Let's do it. I think that's what I would like to see. However, I have also noticed that we might be ready to get into our run shortly. I am just waiting to see what is going on. I also see that I have a $10 donation here from Pokemon Engineer that says, Yeet the penguin, trans rights less than 3. Thank you so much for that donation. Everybody, it's time. We have some awesome Mario action coming up for y'all, so let's get ready to hop through some paintings and
一応このゲームビットが設定されてまして、もう先ほどちょろっとナレーションでペンギンの話をしてたんですけども、と言ってたらゲーム画面が消えてしまいましたね。おなじみのマリオの顔のオープニング画面。
Today I have Karina and Emmy on comms, who are also runners of this game and are super knowledgeable in my run.
そのビットの話をすると、寒い寒いマウンテンっていうステージに迷子のコペンギンがいるんですけども、それを、ただ優しく返してあげるのか、ちょっとね悪いことしちゃうのかっていうコペンギンが助かるか助からないかっていうのをビットでね、コペンギンの運命がビットにかかっています。はい、グッドラックです。
Hello, my name is Sarah. I have been speedrunning Mario for 4 years now. I am a Twitch partner, full-time streamer, and commentator. I typically stream about 10 hours later in the day than right now, and for the most part, my stream is PB attempts, but also extremely focused around chat interaction. I'm really passionate about what I do for moments like these, and I hope I can get you today to check out
イベントならではのタイムには関係ございませんっていうお楽しみ要素ですね。
And now I'm going to hand it over to my commentary team to introduce themselves as well.
Hello, my name is Emmy Bella. I am also a runner. I've been streaming and running this game for 4 years, and I mainly run 120.
And my name is Karina. I'm also a Super Mario 64 speedrunner. I also do a lot of 120.
ここでもうスキップを1個決めてるんですよね。
3 years.
あとはチュートリアルみたいなのが入っちゃうんですけど。
Just over a minute into the game, and Sarah's already completed her first speedrun trick. It was so fast you may have missed it. At the beginning of the castle, if you've played this game before, you are maybe familiar with Lakitu, who likes to come and talk to you. But Sarah, by jumping on the very outer edge of the bridge, was able to skip that interaction, which takes 7 or 8 seconds. So already looking good with her first couple time saves under the belt.
Yeah, this beginning of this run, we have just a bunch of quote-unquote glitches, but the difference in the glitches we're going to be doing here versus what you would see in something like 16 stars, something like a BLJ, for example, is that we're not breaking the sequence of events, kind of. We're just getting the star faster, and clips like that are okay. For example, like bomb clip, what we just did.
Small update, we are $50 away from that glitch showcase already, chat.
Wow.
Y'all are doing amazing.
That's incredible.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
There's
あっという間です。
So Sarah's currently 3 for 3 on the main speedrunning time save. She's done Lakitu skip, she's done bomb clip, and then owlless, which again, if you're familiar, you usually take the owl to get that star, but Sarah was able to get a high triple jump, wall kick off the cage, and get the star without it, which saves quite a bit of time.
We're just doing a quick little slide down there. Make sure the floor is okay. Thank God. We got all the first
壁の中に埋まってるスターを取りましたね。
always make us reset our runs in Mario. So that was canonless. If you guys want to take it away on that.
Yeah, canonless. That one is a really tough one to get, especially the version that Sarryy just did is called texture. So it is a setup where you look at a little small texture on that bridge, and you have to line it up just correctly.
やっぱりかなり
And when you manipulate the camera,
RT というかスピードランで有名なタイトルなので、
grab the star that you usually need to open the cannon.
見慣れてはいるけど、でもやっぱり自分が遊んだことあるからこんなうまくいかないのは分かってるので、やっぱり何度見てもすごいなと思いますね。どなたの見ても。
Right now we are headed into WOMPS 100. We only have 200 coins in the route that I'm going to be doing today in 70 star. So we opt in 70 star to get the fastest 70 stars that we can. And this is one of them. We're going to grab every star in WOMPS Fortress here. And this is going to be our first star that is actually cycle based. So right here there's a moving platform. I'm going to just let it move all the way around. And basically this will dictate how fast you're going, because you don't really want to be standing still during a speed run. You don't want to be waiting on a cycle. We're mainly going to see those cycles occur in the Bowser levels, but we also have it here. So something to point out.
Yeah, and one other thing with cycles is that like one small 1 second mistake can end up causing you to miss the entire cycle, which could lead to like a 10-12 second time loss depending on the star that you're doing. So start hitting that cycle saves a lot of time in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. And right there, I was close to a cycle called half cycle. The reason I opted out was I was scared. And if you lose a cycle, you can actually end up losing way more time than if you're just patient sometimes. So for the sake of the marathon run, I was a little more safe than I would be in my typical PB attempts.
And you'll notice that with that, Sarah was able to get 2 stars essentially back to back without having to exit the level and go back into it. So when you're doing a 100 coin star, you're able to collect a star alongside of it. So Sarah just collected both the Reds coin star as well as the 100 coin star without having to exit the level and go back in.
Yeah, recently me and Karina were reviewing
理論的な最速が未だに見出せない。どれだけ煮詰まってしまうんだ一体。
Because all of our friends, including Green Squeegee, said, I've never heard of that in my life. So that was good. That was a really good feeling.
Yeah, so Sarah just completed her first sister star.
Well, I have something really interesting to announce because are you ready to do some glitches a bit later on?
Oh my god, did we hit the glitch showcase? That's incredible.
We have hit our glitch showcase 6 minutes into the run, chat. Y'all are amazing. This is fantastic.
Amazing.
That is incredible. Thank you guys so much for supporting such an important cause. I'm very excited because, yeah, my main category, like I said in my intro there, hold on, I'm gonna go
先
through
ほ
this
ど
tower
ちょ
triple
っと
jump.
下に
It always feels good
サイ
to
ンが
get
出て
that
たんですけども
Alright,
BLJ グリッチショーケース
70 star,
が
or sorry, 16 star speedrunner first, human second. So
達成された
it's
という
really
こと
fun that
で
I get to show you guys those 16 star tricks. It'll be really cool.
Yeah, and now
Yeah, sorry. Go
まあ
ahead.
このルートだと
I was
見
just
せ
gonna
なかっ
say
た
that
グ
we
リ
had
ッチだった
a
り
difference in route that I'm actually technically doing the slower route, but to each their own. Whether or not you get Womps 8 or Womps 9.
Yeah, and now Sarah
BLJ
has completed all of Womps, which again is going to be one of the longer stages that we have,
グ
just
リッ
because
チ
she's
だったり
getting
テ
every
クニ
single
ッ
star in
クを
it.
披露してく
And
れる
now
っていうことです
this
ね
is going to be a little bit of an interesting section where she's going to do this slide twice. Actually, you can get 2 stars from doing this slide. This first one that she's getting right here, she's getting the star for completing the slide in under 21 seconds. This is going to kick her back out into the lobby. She'll do that same star again, where she'll then get the box that contains another star.
Yeah, and the alternative route would be doing that first slide star right at the beginning of the run. You do bomb clip, and then you would go and do that first slide. But the IRL time save of not resetting to Womps after you've already done the slide is enough for me to do this route because it doesn't save too much, but if you're really looking for every point 1, point 2, it's definitely the better route to take. And yeah, like Karina said, we're actually going to be doing 3 secret stars in a row. We have our main level stars, like that we'll get from Womps Fortress or in a little bit from Coco Mountain. But right now, actually, we're doing 4 in a row because the stars that we're going to receive from the Bowser levels also are technically secret stars, which don't really belong to a level where you'll grab more than 2 stars. But they're still there, so we gotta get them, and they're quick to get to.
And I know that very quickly our Save or Yeet the Penguin is going to be closing. How much time do we have left on that? Because
Yeah, we have about 7 or so minutes. I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna do a route difference where I make sure we do the Penguin Star last in
本当にそうですね。
CCM, so you guys will have until the end
まだまだ煮詰められるんですねこのゲームは
donate to
今
incentive.
発売して何年だっけって思っちゃいま
Fate
したけ
of
ど
the Penguin, and keep in mind, Karina is Tuxie's #1 fan, and you don't want to hurt Tuxie in front of Karina.
Yeah, so
bad
please
news
be nice.
because Yeet is
Oh, no.
actually
本当に
very
古び
much
る
in
こ
the
とのない
lead.
ゲーム
Looks like we gotta do some
Come on,
ですね
everyone.
96年に発
Save
売
the minutes to
Penguin.
snipe saving the penguin. It can be done. And also, if you do that, that will get us so close to our $60 million GDQ milestone, y'all. That
Wow.
would be absolutely fantastic for the work that we are doing.
I think
So
we
let's
might
save
have
that
missed Shig's
penguin.
cycle. Oh, no, we got it. We're still on track here. So this is another cycle-based level. I'm going to be going for a cycle here called Shig.
30年って単純に物持ちとしてすごすぎませんかねなんか
We actually went for a lag reduction camera there.
なんか今生まれたゲームが30年遊び続けられるイメージが逆に湧かないんですけど
This is normal cycle. But yeah, if I were able to make it on that last platform there in time, that's how we know it's Shake Cycle. It's usually, I think, around, I believe, the 34-second mark.
なんかそんなことを調べたり言ったりしてる間にもうサクサクとスターが
on that platform there.
And Sarah's just cruising through Dark World. That is a very scary stage, especially doing it with all the movement that Sarah was doing. Obviously, she played it a little bit safe by not going for Shake Cycle and just opting for normal cycle. But
子供の頃このクッパが怖くってできなかったんですよね。
100%. And this was actually the first part of the run where I'm changing my controller that I'm playing with. I have a controller switcher that
中学生になってから友達にDS で出た方のそのリメイクっていうんですか、スーパーマリオ64 DS 版を借りてそれで初めてクリアしました。個人的なちょっと思い出ですけど。今スイッチでも遊べたりしますから本当に。
At our disposal, I guess, when it comes to how we're playing, and we have a lot of steel sticks and things like that. Just really expensive ways to keep these old controllers playing good.
遊べるゲームですね。
yeah, and you'll notice that this is the second time now that Sarah's been in BOB, and you may be asking, well, why did she just get them both at the same time? We needed that wing cap. When Sarah was doing those secret stars in a row, she pressed the switch in the wing cap stage, which allowed her to get the wing cap, which allowed her to get that star.
Yeah, and now we are heading to Cool Mountain, the home of Tuxie the Penguin. So make sure you get those big war incentives.
これが寒い寒いマウンテンですね。
Oh, I've got so many donations coming in.
今
Sadly, it's still possible for a snipe.
セーブはいいとペンギン
We're saving our poor little penguin friend.
Oh no.
However, I have a $25
ドネートの
coming in here from Jet the Kitten Star that says,
説明のところを見たら、まあ、ペンギンを助けてあげますか、それとも落としちゃいますかっていう説明だったんですけど、まあ、一応今下に画面下に出てるのを見るといいというせいかな。これは。
They're one of the first species known to have LGBTQ plus members, and their attire is very non-binary coded. Given our current climate, we've got to save them all.
Are
Do, chat. You're inching it up there. Save is getting there.
Come on,
We've got
guys.
$65 on that. It can be done. We can save that penguin.
Yeah. So
I
something that's
believe.
pretty, yeah, I believe too. Something that's pretty cool with how long I've been running this game is some things feel kind of second nature. I really should be doing a different camera on that last star where I just did a blind jump down, but sometimes it works out, like just then. And that's the camera I always do, which is bad. But in some ways, it makes me a better player. So it's food for thought on that. And yeah, here we are in another 100 coin. We have, I think, 3 total, in this run. I kind of forgot this one existed, which is funny because here the stakes are going up into the slide, if you guys wanted to explain that.
Yeah, sure. So this 100 coin is particularly difficult because you can only miss, I believe it's 2 coins.
3 with the backup that I grabbed.
Oh, 3 with the backup. Gotcha. Yeah, so there is a backup that you can do where you grab an extra red coin outside of the slide, and then that, lets you miss 3 coins. So there's a bit of
大人になってから何回見ても子供の頃これできなかったなっていう思い出が毎回蘇りますね。どんなに上手い人のを見ても簡単に見えない。
And then you will also start the spawn for winning the race against the penguin. So you're essentially trying to collect the 100 star coin and also beat the penguin. And the penguin is really, really fast sometimes. So it's definitely a tricky star, but Sarah just nailed it.
Hey. Yeah,
Yes.
so we're basically eyeing that endings coin count here. And also we're at the Tuxie star, actually. if we wanted to.
I'm going to have to say that we'll have to close that. Oh, chat sniped it. We are saving that penguin.
Oh my
Thank you, chat.
お、あ、セーブが優勢になりましたよ。ここに来て。
That was a very, very quick
これで決定なのかな？
snipe. Raising $400 in total.
あ、よかったね、コペンちゃん。
Wow. Thank you for saving Tuxie. Tuxie is saved.
And with that, we are leaving Coco Mountain. But yeah, I was gonna mention in the 100 coin store, we basically are looking to get 85 coins exactly.
ちなみにその先ほど言った AGDQ の時は、
Otherwise, you have to
ペンちゃんが
slide up to grab the rest of
マップの外に落とされてしまって、会場中が大ブーイングをするというのがありましたね。
And we got to save the penguin, thank God. And we are now entering a stage that everyone thinks is really interesting, especially Geo Gringo in chat. And we actually
なんか飛び降りたところで結局なんだろう、すごい減速しちゃって勝てないっていうのが
Thank you, because I really want to call out this $250 donation from
意外と滑り続けた方が加速が
that
き
just
て
says your move eaters, and I want to thank
そうですね
you for helping us
タイムには
an adorable little penguin.
タイム的には明らかにペンギンを素直に助けてあげるのが早いです
Also
ね
a $100 donation from Maths that just says in all caps, go Sari.
Yay! Thank you, Matt.
Yes, go Sari.
We also have $208 remaining on our milestone of raising $60 million for GDQ across all of our events. That is absolutely wild. It's so amazing to see the work that's being done here. And we also have an incentive that we have unlocked for that we have opened for our upcoming peak run.
このテレサを攻撃した時の声がドッスンと同じなのがすごい子供の頃っていうか未だに不思議なんですよね。なんで同じドッスンなんだろう。テレサとドッスンってなんだろう、だいぶ重量感が違う気がするんですけどね。
Undeniably the best character in Peak. So that is a $1,000 incentive. But we've already got some movement in on that. It is already
重そうな敵を倒した時と同じ音なのが不思議で。
You can do it. It's going to be fantastic to see that happen.
さっきのクッパを倒したので鍵を開けて地下に来れるようになりましたね。あ、そうか。そういう事情か。音もね、ちゃんとデータですからね。
US version, which is what Sarah's playing for 70 star. There's two different MIP stars and they're actually different speeds. So the first MIP is a little bit slower, and then we'll come back later back into
とても有名な人が
basement
ね、
and show the MIPs again, and MIPs will be moving just a little bit
目隠しで
faster.
走ってますから、今回はブラインドフォローではないです。
Runners run on different carts, either the US cart or
そうですね、すごい大きいテレサだから、まあ、体の大きさを考えたら、低いのぶとい声が出ても不思議ではないのかもしれないです。
a little bit faster on the Japanese cart, and then 70 star is faster on the US cart because the text boxes scroll a little bit faster.
Yes, exactly. We have a command on my stream where it's just !Y, and it's because it's faster. No matter what version, we're always making sure we are going as fast as we possibly can be. And yeah, we also, something kind of cool, I am very much on PB pace right now, which is cool. I don't know if it'll carry forever because, you know, we're pretty early on in the run, but make sure not to laugh too hard. We are 6.7 off of my best pace ever in this category, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. Always fun to have any run into basement. Nonetheless, a PB pace run in basement.
PB ペースとか
just one more star left
言
here
ってましたね。
in SSL. This is one of
そう
Not quite,
奏者
but
さ
one of the
んの
fastest stars in the game.
Second fastest, apparently.
Maybe
記
the
録
second
がスピー
fastest
ドランド
star.
とコムにあるかなって
But
思
yeah, you'll
って
notice
調べたんですけども、ちょっとパッと
although we're not using any
調べて、
major glitches, we're still not
あるかもしれないですけど、ちょっとわからなくて、ただ、ものすごく奏者さんが多いので、なかなかすぐ見つからなくてもちょっと仕方ないかなっていう感じで、ちょっと諦めてしまったんですけど。
Star intensive levels that we're gonna see. Nothing's gonna quite hold a candle to Wump's Fortress here, but yeah, we're gonna grab everything but our
必ずしもスピードランドとコムに
including the sister
リー
star
ダーボードに乗っている
that
方
what I made up,
ばかりではないの
that we
で、
would normally get in 120 star, which is the category where you grab everything no matter
カ
what.
テゴリーで
Something
何
that's
位とか
interesting
そう
is
い
there's
った
some like
順位
deviations
に
in
ついてはわ
routing,
から
so
ない
in
で
Wet
す。
Dry World, which we'll visit a little later in our run here. You do a different version of 100 coins just because it is faster to grab the secrets with the 100 coin in 70 star, but if you're grabbing everything, it's actually faster to grab the reds instead.
I also
with the
just
100
want to
coin.
cut in and announce that we have hit that milestone. We have raised $60 million across all of our GDQ events. Y'all, I am so proud. That is
なんか降ってきた。
absolutely amazing, absolutely fantastic. And it's thanks to some of these donations, like a $20 donation from Sarah
GDQ から
Regala
の
that says she's doing it for women.
Hell yeah.
インセンティブがアップデートされ
That's
て、
amazing.
Sorry. We're gonna be going for lava boost here.
その関係かな。
Focus heavy one. Oh, we've missed it, so I'm going to back it up. I'm taking some burns. That's okay.
So that
Can't
strat, that's
get all of them.
Can't get all of them, but you did a good job backing that one up. That one's really easy, that if you go for that strat and you miss it, you can end up dying. So Sarah did a really great job saving that, and just we'll be going around and getting the star a little bit of a more normal way.
Yeah, you don't lose too much time there, and yeah, not too bad. We're gonna be entering that volcano one last time actually, and then we're gonna be giving those bullies back there a piece of our mind. There we go. And that's the proper, without the burn, but that's the proper movement at the beginning there. Something that's pretty interesting about Mario 64, I mean speedrunning in general as well, but a lot of things look easier said than done. For example, that camera that we just went for there is pretty, like, you press 30 buttons at the same time type beat. So, and you would never think that just watching it. So it's pretty interesting seeing
ダメージ受けるのもテクニックの一つなのが
another thing is a lot of people love to
見て
talk
て
about the camera
ハラハ
in
ラ
this
し
game.
ますね。
Or not love, like a love-hate more like, and I'm definitely
な
no
かなか
exception
リ
to
スキー
that.
な部分もある
But
と思い
something
ま
I've
すけ
learned
ど
in my time speedrunning is that the camera is actually pretty great for speedrunning, because if you know how to deal with it, it behaves sometimes, mostly. But yeah, we basically have pretty
おお、
strict
鮮やかです。
camera directions and stuff that we're going for, and it's pretty comfy for speedrunning at least.
Yeah, one thing you'll notice is that Sarah's
突
never
進
really
してき
just
た
like
のを
walking or running
いなしてそのま
anywhere.
ま落とし
She's
ちゃい
doing
ま
a
した
lot
ね。
of dives and jump, long jumps, all that kind of stuff, and that's what we mean when we're talking about movement. And movement is, one, a lot faster, and two, it's a lot more consistent because you can anticipate the spacing of stringing certain things together, like how she just did a long jump and then a jump dive off that slope, so she knows she's always going to be in the proper spacing to land where she needs to. So yeah, the camera plays a really big
すごい、
role
3
in
匹
that and making sure that she has
回
the
に。
proper
お
angle
お、
to do all of her planned movement.
Yes, exactly.
気持ちいい。
And something about Mario is any moment he's just walking on the ground, you are
すごい
losing time. So
テンポよく
we are trying our best to fling him into the air as much as possible.
倒しちゃいました。
And actually, speaking of the elements, we're heading to a new one here with Dire Dogs, one of the best songs in all of gaming. But yeah, we're just going to be doing 3 stars here. Something that's pretty integral to talk about before we head into Dire Dogs is we have audio cues in this one, which is the swimming. I'm not going to be talking too much, so great time for donations in a second here. But I will be listening to my swim beats and the noises that Mario is making as he's swimming to make sure I am not losing a second every missed swim. If you'd like to read out some donations in that time.
Oh, I've got plenty because I have a $25 donation from Anonymous that says, I spend hours trying to get 120 stars in this game, and sarry's run is making me realize how amazing y'all are. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for that donation. And I also want to just thank everybody for the movement we're already seeing on unlocking the Bing Bong percent for our
子供の頃の話なので、笑い話というか、このステージすごい怖かったんですよね。なんか水の中に潜るのが怖くって、そうサメも怖いし、でまた陸がないじゃないですか。なんかどこにも安全なところがなくて、そうウツボも怖かったです。
Chat, if you would like to adjust how we finish our peak run, you can put some money towards that. We also have quite a few other things open for our
よかった、意外とわかる
6
と
run later
言ってくださ
on
る人がい
in
た。
the day. You can put your donations towards naming a bunch of our
別に
characters.
息ができないのはマリオなんですけど、なんか自分が息ができなくなるみたいな気がしちゃって怖かったんですよね。
That you can put your donations towards. So please get those in chat. I would love to see some interesting names for our upcoming run.
Nice. All right, and we just have one star left here. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say back to the whole camera discussion. So one of the most important things in console. So there are two different ways you can kind of play Super Mario 64 when you're speedrunning. You can either run on console, which is what sarry does, or you can run on emulator. So if you run on console, though, you do need to be mindful about lag reduction. So that is where the camera.
時はの森で怖くて進めないってなるともうだいぶ序盤で積んじゃうな。でもなんかわかる。
That takes a lot for the N64 to render. So anytime you're in that area, what sarry is
そうなんですよ。
doing
そう
is
マリオ、そうこの体力尽きた時のアクションが結構リアル苦しそうなんですよね。
from the sub so that the sub does not render or spawn into the game until it has to. And yeah, that is definitely a huge part of the speed run.
Yeah, and now we are headed into our second Bowser level here, our second of 3.
ちなみにそのさっきその海の
This will be the last time we're grabbing red coins
その
during
水中のステージでちょっとごめんなさい、名前忘れちゃったんですけど、潜水艦が出てきたと思うんですけど、そのゲーム会社で働いてる友達がいて、その潜水艦が有名な処理落ちスポットっていうことで、なるべく映さないようにするっていう話をしたら大笑いしてて、作ってる方はリッチにしようとしてるのにって言ってましたね。確かに。なるべくリッチなデザインにしようと頑張ってるのを映さないのかよって。
the ones that are the cruelest, for sure.
Definitely, this is another cycle that Sarah just hit, and again, kind of what we were talking about.
そうですね。それこそ本当にそういうリッチな見た目を目指して作ってる分リアルになってより恐怖が増すっていうのはありそうですね。
But when we're looking at a speed run, all those seconds definitely add up.
100%, yeah.
And Sarah's gonna grab the red coin.
おっと、ちょっと失敗しちゃったかな。
And then she'll be going into the second Bowser
意外とこの頃のローポリなグラフィックの怖さがなかなか抜けないなっていうのを最近感じますね。
Bowser level is going to behave a little bit differently. They all do. But this will be the last time that Bowser lets us only try to throw him once. We're going to be throwing him 3 times in the final level. But he's very angry, in fact. He's going to step on the stage and turn it on its side, which is very impressive for 1996.
And similarly with losing time in Fire Sea, really huge that Sarah hit that throw. This is also a throw that seems really simple, but if you miss a throw, it is a really big time
そう、
loss.
プレステのローポリ怖いん
For
ですよ。
16 second time loss if you miss that throw,
と
which
言っ
is
てたところで鍵2
ridiculous.
個目ゲットです
And
ね。
which is our other Bowser level that we're going to be going for in the end of the run, that will lose you 12 seconds of throw. So it's interesting how different everything is. Dark World loses you about 10, and we're heading into Wet Dry World. I'm going to be going for a strat here called Double Box Break.
お城の上の階に進めるようになりましたね。
100 coin, and something interesting is there, like we talked about camera, there's different ways we can reset camera, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I think Karina has something to say here about the level entry into Wet Dry World.
Yeah, you'll notice that Sarah entered the stage with a dive, so she entered really low in the painting. And one, I guess, Easter egg of Super Mario 64 is that depending on where you enter Wet Dry World, the stage will look different. So we'll see that the water is only at the very bottom of this stage. Sarah's going to do a star later where she enters the painting.
絵に入る時の高さで水位が変わるっていうギミックがあって、今すごいスライディングで入ったので水位がすごく一番低い水位ですね。多分一番低いかな。
Not just what you do within the level, but also how you enter the level, because that has a really big impact on how she does the stars.
Yeah, and actually that won't even be our last time we'll be seeing this. TTC is quite literally a clock, and we're going to be aiming to jump in that clock when the hand is on the 7 and the hand is on the 12, because that will dictate how fast the clock is moving or if it's moving at all. But yeah, something I wanted to mention quickly, similar to what Emmy was just talking about with when I'm on console, there's the lag reduction that we do. I was actually clicking in and out of Mario camera, which is
正直子供の頃全然分かんなかったですね。なんか
Mario camera gives you more of
パズルというかチェックポイントを回るみたいな感じだと思うんですけど。
They gave the camera a character name because they had to. This was one of the first 3D games ever, and it was scary for consumers. But basically, when I'm switching in and out of Mario Cam, going into DDD, I'm saving frames. So that's why I did that, and you're going to see me do that same thing, but for a different reason. I'm switching in and out of Mario Camera here to kind of reset my camera to make sure that the Lakitu camera is following Mario directly and not slowly trailing behind him as we load in from such a high point on this level. So we're now mid of Wet Dry World. This will be the first and last time we do that. And also I'm going to be doing a rollout every time I walk on that ramp. That is to try to get Mario to his max forward speed. And like we said, you know, you never want to just be walking, and if you're going to just be walking, you want to make sure you're doing it as fast as possible, which is why we're doing that rollout on an incline. Inclines are really weird in this game for different reasons. Sometimes you could BLJ off them, sometimes you could do something we call silly kicks,
街の一番高い
which
と
is
ころ
just when
の
Mario starts kicking.
スターですね。また低い水位でスタートするのかな。
And yeah, once again, Sarah's at the lowest level for, I think, 2 more stars, if I'm counting right. So yeah, you'll notice that as she goes through this stage, the water level is continuing to change. There's also switches within the level. So if you were to ever accidentally enter the stage at the wrong level, there are switches that you can go swim around and find to adjust the level. But of course, in speedrunning, that's not super ideal.
Exactly.
お、すごい。
I'm going for this. I don't normally go for it. I don't think
あー、頑張れ。
just do some wall kicks and we'll land here. There we go.
A wall kick showcase.
Yes, and this is how you do a wall kick in Mario.
なんとか
Also, something
スタートれましたね。
interesting is sometimes if you do one movement, it'll cancel another. For example, there I did a kick to be safe, so I didn't take fall damage. You might have seen those a few times, or like a dive right before I hit the bottom of a level. And the reason I'm doing that is to avoid the fall damage, like I said. But for example, there I had to break that box that was below that cage I was wall kicking up of. And since I did that kick, you actually can't do the ground pound. So it's just interesting how all that chains together. And without one, sometimes you can't do the other. You can't do a kick out of a triple jump, for example, as well. And we're out of Wet Dry World and into one of the worst levels that this game has to offer. And probably the worst star. We're going to be seeing if I get this beginning. If not, we're going to back it up.
なんだろう、ちょっとどうしようっていう雰囲気を感じました。気のせいでなければ。
Sarah does pro secrets here, so this is the fastest way to do this star.
Yes.
壁キックでずっと耐えてましたね。
You might be familiar with this one. Alright, we're gonna back that up. No problem. So typically there you are clipping through that mountain, and if you can't clip through it, you can always do a very interesting triple jump there, and you pick up this like height that you wouldn't typically think you could in this game right there, and then it happens. But it's
スター40枚だからもう半分過ぎてるのか。
Yeah, because that started to be tough, especially the pro version that Sarah was doing. That little Goomba can kind of get in your way, and also just at the very end when you're sliding down to that platform to grab that star. I personally think that's one of the scariest parts of being upstairs is, you know, that platform, because one mistake and you can die right at the end, right before you grab that star. So Sarah did a great job backing that up.
I'm gonna go for this one more time. Nah, it's good. All right, we're gonna go the long way, but yeah, that would typically be where you do THI mountain clip. But again, if you can't get something going, you can always go the intended way, like that.
This stage is also kind of similar to what we were talking about with TTC in Wet Dry World, where you can enter the stage differently. Although this stage can be very challenging for speedrunners, the level design is really interesting, where you'll notice when Sarah's going into the pipes, the stage is changing sizes. So right now, the stage is small and Mario's big, and in other instances, the stage is... Right now, the stage is really big and Mario's small. So there's another painting that you can actually enter where it's in this state where the stage is big and Mario's small, but in SM64 speedruns, we always enter when the stage is small. It's easier to move around.
Fun fact about this level is one time I killed the piranha plant, that last one, frame perfect, where I actually soft locked the game. I didn't know you could do that. Or, well, I soft locked that level at least, and then I had to re-enter to the small world, go back to the big world. And that is how I found out that exists. And this, as far as I know, is another lag reduction, is talking to Toad on this side.
And we love
We are
Toad.
TT. Yes, we do.
Anyone?
And Tuxie.
いただきました。
And Tuxie. If anyone has any Toad emotes, put them in the chat. Here right away, we see Sarah doing a pretty big time save with that mountain clip. She gets enough speed where she can dive and just go right through the wall because it's thin enough, and then the water essentially allows her to swim upward. So she saves a lot of time by clipping through the mountain, and it allows her to get up to the top much faster. She's gonna do that a couple of times.
これ、こここんな簡単に登れるんですね。
And I also go for
簡単じゃないんだろうけど。
I do the slide into that little window. A lot of people have never seen that before.
頑張って山登りするイメージだったの
Actually
で。
taught me how to do that when I first started speedrunning 70 Star in 2022. We're 2 for 2 on the other mountain clip, so that is a good feeling.
この猿が憎たらしいんですよね。可愛い顔して。
While we climb this mountain, do you mind if I give a little update on our peak incentive?
RTA で
We're about to have
スピードなんで関わることほぼほぼないでしょうけど。
after once we're in SL, if that's okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I was about to say, this is our final star where it's kind of like you're kind of moving around, but the rest, we have a few where we are going to be exploiting what, the like intended mechanics of the game, but really to the nth degree, we're going to be going for this mysterious star on the side here on this shroom, and the way we're going to be grabbing it is not really what the devs were intending here. So just give me 1 second. And yeah, we just bounce our way right to that star.
うまくいきましたね。
And then this last big movement star, we have another star that we're going to be doing after it, and there's alternative strats for it that we can do, one called Breezeless. But what we're going to be going for here is just the red coins. The movement here is really fun, and if you're a console player, there's a lot of lag, so it's something that all of us had to really get used to once we switched to console. And then we just have a lot of like tight movements coming up here. And now could be a good time to talk about the peak incentive.
Not a problem, because we are moving along very, very quickly on that. We only have $115 left on bringing Bing Bong to the top of the
チョ
mountain
ロ
with
プに
us.
邪魔されちゃったの
I
かな
want to thank y'all for that. That is absolutely fantastic. And it comes from
あれ
donations like this
あ、
$50
ちょっ
one
と
from Jane
ちょっと
March
失敗しちゃい
saying,
ましたね。
"Been watching GDQ for years.
惜しかっ
Super
た。
hype seeing a friend running." Thank you so much for that.
So I died. Do that again. Whoopsie. That's okay. I just wanted to tell you guys about how cool these rollouts are. So it's fun. First death happens to the best of us. And
あ、ちょっと処理落ちしちゃったんですね。
This movement's cool though. It's so nice. You gotta look at it twice or something.
Exactly.
But yeah, all three of us actually run
確かに
120
ちょっと
and
ガビガビして
can
る。
speak for, you know, the difference in the routing here versus in
あ、よかった。
120 you're going to be chaining this with the 100 coin, which I always get thrown off because there's little movements
今
in
度
the
は鮮やかで
coin
した。
segment that feel so different. So yeah, every time I'm switching between categories, I think all of us have that, right? Like castle routing, different stars you grab, everything feels different sometimes, and you'll just lose time to not remembering what category you're in if you're used to one. And we're gonna be going for pro head here. Hopefully we grab it, and if not, there's a very easy backup. We don't need a backup.
And she got it.
Awesome.
Almost flew right off, but we still did it. Thank God. All right. And yeah, now we're going to be continuing on in Snowman Land. Honestly, that is my scariest part of this level. And Karina, guess what's coming up next?
奏者さんも結構
Sarah has a nice
かなり悔しそうな表情してましたね。
Yeah, that too.
Oh.
But that is the fastest star in the game that I just
Oh
did
yeah,
there.
right there. Blink if you miss. Miss it if you blink. Something like that.
There you go. But yeah, I have this horrible visual cue that I'm sure everyone's going to be able to see, and everyone's going to think it's really cool that I'm pointing it out. But it's not even a visual cue. It's just like a cool thing on the side of the mountain here. You can kind of see Sonic's eyes. You see that? Probably not, because I only passed it for like 2 seconds, but it was there, I promise. I actually brought that up the first time I did commentary, and nobody saw it, and it was really cool, and everyone thought it was the best, and it was really awesome that I pointed it out. And yeah, now we're going to be doing our first route
スター
deviation.
50枚になりましたね。
70 Star has 2 routes. I mean, there's technically you could do HMC early. We're going to be going back to the basement actually after this, and we'll explain why once we're down there. But there's a difference in 70 Star on whether or not you are attempting the TTC 100 Star. You need to have about a 1 minute 10-second X cam, which is what we call our ILs basically. To make sure that that makes sense to do in your route. I opted here for a marathon run, obviously, to continue on with the safer route, which is we're going to grab SL Reds and stomp on the swamp in TTC, which in my opinion is one of the coolest movement stars, so I'm really excited to show that off for you guys. And now would be a good time for a quick dono read.
Not a problem. It's me, Hawkeye G, sends in $25, and they say genuinely one of the cleanest and most impressive SM64 runs I've ever seen. Incredible way to start out this Saturday. Looking forward to all the great runs remaining the rest of today. Thank you so much for that donation, and we are trucking along on unlocking our Bing Bong percent for our upcoming peak run. Chat, there is only $110 left on that incentive. Can we get it met before we... I don't even know. We're moving so fast. I don't even know when we can get it met because you're just moving so fast, Sarry.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to be heading to basement a second time here. And we're going to be grabbing MIPS. So, fun fact about me and 16 Star is, like we said, 16 Star has a faster run if you're doing it on JP. There's a lot of reasons. There's the intro doesn't have voice acting, so we save a few seconds there. Text scrolling within that.
何もしてないのに捕まるウサギ。
70s text scrolling is faster, but there's fewer text windows in JP rather, I believe is how it works. But the MIPS are different speeds, but this MIPS is the same speed that it always is in JP, so it's a little comfier to do that one instead. And we're talking to Karina's favorite character in all of media currently.
Yeah, we love Toad.
We do love Toad, and we're heading into
Yasashii
Easy Maze
Kinopio.
Cave, which looks a little yucky. But that's okay. We're going to be doing some cool speed tech here. I'm going to be going to Mario Cam basically every time we start out. And we basically have something cool to talk about each
闇に
star
溶け
here.
る洞窟ですね。
And that's a clean left side. Basically, what I was going for there is I got the Mario Cam, and Mario Cam is going to let you fool around with it a little bit, and it's a little more lenient on and flexible on like what you can do with it. So I hold C right as I'm entering that door and hold a new position for Mario's camera to turn, and then you just do a triple jump. And after that, you pray to God that the Mario gods are letting you get that. And if you're feeling extra
なんで
confident, you can
そ
go
もそも
with
なん
the
でスター
dive
持ってたん
there.
でしたっけ？なんか
Like the one I just bonked, but that's okay because
そういうセリ
easy
フあったかな？
backups always.
And speaking of
sometimes
praying,
Mario flies at the sky.
oh, I was gonna say, speaking of praying to the Mario gods, that's one of the few stars that's pretty RNG heavy. There's not a whole lot of RNG in Mario, but that stage with the rocks, you can get bad RNG where the rocks want to come
結
and
構
squish
暗い
you.
雰囲気のステージなんですけど、もうささっとスター取って明るいジングルが鳴るから全くそういう雰囲気にならないで進んでいきますね。
That are all RNG, but when it comes to the main levels, that is one of the only RNG aspects we're dealing with. And now I'm gonna go back up there. We are going for a star called Christmas Miracle. We are clipping out of bounds here and trying to stomp on a switch that you would previously just need the metal cap for. I'm gonna back this up instead. Totally good. There's actually, oh my god, I was about to say there's a death plane, but I've never hit it.
おっと
So we've hit it, and we're gonna go again.
Yeah, that's one of the tough parts of HMC is in both 70 and 120 as well. You're clipping through a lot of the top part, so there is no ceiling at the top. So we exploit that and cut through the top to access the other side of the cave. But on the downside, there are death zones that you have to consciously avoid, or if you hit them, you would just instantly die. So
Yes.
but sarryy backed that up really nicely with doing the kick against the grate to hit that button.
反動でスイッチを
And
押
yeah,
して
fun fact, this one was called, it is originally dubbed Christmas Miracle because people originally did not know how the tech worked, so they just called it Christmas Miracle.
Yeah. And Christmas has been saved. Kinda. Yeah, and then we're going to be doing a star that actually, something interesting, there's a route deviation in 16 star. The beginner route encourages speedrunners, instead of going for Dark World Reds, which we went for at the beginning here, to grab this star instead in 16. So I haven't done this star in a while. I actually took out the Klepto bird from SSL to do this instead in 16. But yeah, I haven't done it in 16 in about 4 years, so I get to revisit her when I do some 70 star, and we are heading into Tippy. And this is the point of the run where I'll usually tell my chat to pray in any way they know how, and it's usually through the
汎用性のあるリフトですね。
We are now going for some of the hardest stars within the run. So get ready for it. Something also quick I'd like to mention before we get in here is I've been ground pounding underneath the stars, and you might have noticed when I don't ground pound, Mario flies up in the sky, and there's actually a reason for that. If Karina, you wanted to take that away.
So yeah, in
集めた
Rainbow
スターの
Ride,
力で扉を開いて
you're gonna be going for Cruiser, was it?
Yes. Oh, I can go for Lackey Bounce actually once. This is not one of my main strats though, so... Oh, and we didn't get it, so that's okay. I just wanted to go for it for the sake of it'd be really cool if I got it.
Yeah, Yeah, so Lakitu bounce is a pretty advanced strat where you can essentially bounce on top of Lakitu and you skip all the way up to the top of the level where she has a couple stars that she can get. So yeah, it's a tough one, but if you miss it, pretty quick backup to get any of the other stars.
Yeah, exactly. It was worth going for at least once. Not really the most time to waste in the world. But yeah, something really quick I'll go back to there on the stars is the reason we're ground pounding underneath them is it's the quickest way to get Mario back to the ground, which that is the only time you want Mario on the ground is when you're grabbing a star. So we're gonna be going for this triple jump actually. Oh, and missing, I guess. But we're going for this triple jump. Actually, every star here because I'm doing alternative movement for one of them. But we're going for this jump, which is a bit scary. Not a problem this time, though. We're going to be going for cruiser the old-fashioned way.
And that triple jump at the beginning always feels like a little bit of luck. It's not really, but it always feels a little bit like it's luck-based. It's really easy to
変な話、失敗してるところを見て、やっぱ難しいよねって逆に審議会が湧くというか、ちょっと安心してる自分がいますね。通常プレイと比にならない難しいことをしてるとは思うんですけど。
Just a quick double jump, and we are grabbing this star that is here on the ship. But yeah, this level is really massive, and for anyone who maybe heard a few years ago about Carpetless, also we have the Queen of Carpetless here, me, of course, who dressed up for Halloween as the Carpetless Queen, which is so sick. She was one of the first people to actually get Carpetless in an RTA run, which was incredible, and she helped a lot of our community learn Carpetless, so shout out to Emmy, for real. But this is one of the largest in regard of like just area levels. So that before Carpetless was really a lot of sitting around and waiting a second. So it was really cool. It's a discovery like Carpetless, despite not being able to see it in this run because those stars are just too long when we have shorter stars that we could be opting for instead in 70. It is still a really cool discovery that is worth mentioning. Hopefully that's the last time we missed that little trick there.
I also believe that
上を見ると、そう、果てしない恐ろしいですね、マリオの RT は。十分すごいと思うんだけどな。でも難しいことしなくても楽しく遊べるからやっぱいいゲームだなっていう。
Where I did that, but we'll figure it out. And it'll be fun.
Did you get?
これ30年前のゲームですよこれ。
Yeah. Okay, I'll go back to that. No big deal. Oh, and this is cool. We're kind of building up some forward momentum to do this long jump up here. All right. So I will do that before we enter TTC. I'm going to be going back to TTM. Where I unfortunately forgot to do one of the stars, which is totally fine. These things happen. Yeah, TTC 100. We know ZC Barrett is TTC 100's biggest fan, so surely we're gonna do it, right? Now would actually probably be a good time for
見るにあたってちょっと軽くその70枚スターのチャートというかまあガイドというかまとめられてるサイトがあったのでそれを見ながら走りを見てはいるんですけどまあそのページの通りではないですね順番とかは取るスターはだいぶ決まってるみたいですけどまあ代わりにこのスターもおすすめだよっていうのも案内があったりして本当に組み合わせとか順番とかはまあ本当に無限というかそうですよ本当にそのスターとスターの間の移動もそこまで詰めるとなったらめちゃめちゃまだまだ実は余白があるっていうことになっちゃうのか。 余白余地というか、まあ縮める余地があるんでしょう。
Alright, miss, and that's okay because it's super easy to back up, and we actually have a bunch of attempts. I can basically go for it every time I'm loading into the level, until I can't. We have 3 stars that we're going to be trying to go for that with. The walls that we have in this game are paper mache, so we actually have to wait for that platform to move. Otherwise, you will clip right through it if it is moving, so kind of crazy.
Another thing,
Also similar to
go ahead, Emmy.
I was just going to say, similar to Wet Dry World, there are different ways to get into the stage. So if you enter between the 6 and 12, that's going to be the fast time. And then there's also a slower time. And yay, Sarah just got flippies. Let's go. Huge.
That is a new strat
That is
for
a
me.
very tough trick.
Thank you.
Just because it depends. It's tough to do that triple jump on those moving platforms just because it is very time dependent and also height dependent. So great job, Sarry. But yeah, there are different ways that you can enter the stage here, and there's time moving, time stopped, and then
ステージ間の移動のスム
although I
ーズ
don't
さと
believe
か
we
も
use time slow
ある
in
のか
speed
な。
running. So for us speedrunners, it's really just 2 speeds, which is
まあなんだろう。
the stop time.
得意なのを先にやるか苦手なのを先にやるかでやっぱり調子が変わってきたりもするのかな。
So definitely don't want to enter at
You
a
don't want
random time.
random time, yeah.
No.
Alright. And this will be the last time you see this clock moving. But yeah, something I just wanted to quickly say about flippies is that is actually a strat that I learned for this showcase. So I'm glad that it went well and I was able to show you guys what flippies looks like.
なんかフィギュアスケートの選手とかその技と技の順番で得意なのを最初にやって勢いつけてたけど、やっぱり苦手なのが後に控えてるって思うと集中できないから苦手なのを先に変えてみたとか。
And you'll notice the other thing that saves a little bit of time there is, especially when you get to like really high level SM64, it saves about a second when you can enter the clock earlier. So instead of needing to wait for the clock hand to hit 12, you can enter a little bit earlier, which definitely adds up, especially if you're doing moving clock a few times, can save you a couple seconds on your run.
Yes, exactly. So not only is it just a faster strat, but you're actually saving castle movement. And something that's really interesting about this speed game is so much of what as who are like hunting for a new TV.
さすがに
I'm gonna just wait for it to go
やらなかったですね。
is we're looking at our castle movement because every time you're not diving, every time you're not long jumping where you can be, you're actually losing time. And
この時計の
a painting entrance can
や
really
っぱり
make
こ
a
の
difference. The way that you're long
ステー
jumping.
ジに入る時の針の位置で
Up notch if you're whichever notch that you need to be. These are
ギ
really,
ミッ
really
クの
important things that we're
動いて
looking
るか
at
動いてないかが
as
これが
speedrunners.
変わるんですけど。
And we are gonna stomp on that swamp. This is a really, really cool movement start. Back that up. Oh, gonna back it up times 2. There we go.
今ちょっとかっこよかったですね。
And we got it. And we have just about one more star left of the 70 stars before we're going to be heading over to Bowser and giving him a piece
繰
of
り返してるんだったらまあちょっとミスりやすいところを先にして。
I'm hoping that's not moving.
Should be good.
Thank God.
そうですよね。そのミスしたところを先にやっといてでうまくいったら進むっていう方が可能性としては上がりそうですよね。
But luckily, we can't really grab these stars with the strats that I'm doing unless the clock is standing still. For the most part, people will grab these ones. There's actually a newer strat with this star to grab it while moving.
Yes, moving bars.
70 stars! Thank you, Alyssa, by the way.
Yeah, those are the 70 stars that Sarah needs to be able to get up this final staircase.
お、70枚
We can beat the
あっという間だった。集まりましたね。
Yes, which actually BLJs are
こ
banned
れ
to
で
make the run invalid.
そうこの階段が無限階段ではなくなる
Donation
ので。
goal for the incentive where I can show you guys all the cool BLJs we could do in this run and also what makes the 16-star run so interesting with glitches. So we're on to our last cycle of the afternoon here, I'm going to be going for some
やっぱミスりやすいところが控えてるって思うとちょっと不安になってパフォーマンスが落ちちゃったりするのかもしれないですね。
As you can see, there's so many moving platforms here, so just cycle city over here. And moving left side is coming up in just a second. You're trying to just chain up your movements, hit that max speed, and get up here a little faster than normal. And I've instead...
と
there's a lot of like precise inputs you're gonna have to do when you're
す
going.
ごい鮮やかな感じで進んでたんですけど。
And we got it.
There it is.
お、うまくいった。
Let's go. Perfect. And
Let's
this is
go.
another cycle. And hopefully we can grab that. Nice.
Nice.
That is scary movement, especially when you're on a PB pace run, but we are now entering the final Bowser level here. We need
そうです
to
ね、結構
hit him 3 times in the bomb.
有名な
and
テクニックだ
it
った
is
気が
time.
します。
So let's do it.
While we do that, mind if I read out one
この虹色の
Sure.
子供の頃これ見てクッパの肌が虹色になってるって思ってたんですよ。今見たら別に虹色じゃない。
PS, One Piece is real, even if BLJs aren't.
Real. Oh my god. He's
照
gone
明
through
の
the
せいっ
floor.
ていう。
Alright. When he
だ
stands
から
up
レイ
in
ンボ
the
ークッパって呼んでました、
chair,
子
it's a
供の
little
頃。
until he walks out a bit. Oh. Totally fine.
An additional challenge of the third Bowser is, as you can see, he's spits fire
angry.
everywhere. He's very angry. He spits fire everywhere. And not only do you take damage if you run into Bowser, those flames also do damage to you. So you gotta watch out for a lot in this stage, as you're also trying to grab him and throw him into the bomb. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yeah, and something that's interesting is every time he flew back to me, I was able to do something called regrabs, which is where you're grabbing his tail faster so he never is bouncing on the ground. And we, with that, have grabbed all the
お腹向けてるクッパ意外と
and
可愛いですね。
I've beaten Bowser, and that is time.
はい。GG。
Yay. Thank you so much. And yeah, so we are done with this speed run, but we did hit that donation goal. So I'm actually going to be showcasing some of the glitches in Mario 64 that we are able to do beyond 70. Thank you guys.
途中で
everyone, for
PB
these
ペースと言ってたけど、
GGs and
PB ではないのかな。
donations and everything. And should we just
まあ
get
ちょっ
right
と
into the
見せ
glitches?
たいもありましたけど。
Yes, we shall. Let's get
yes.
right into those glitches.
All right, awesome. Something I also want to quickly mention before
それでもすご
we
く
get into the glitches here is that we have a really, really cool community
軽
when it
快
comes
な走りを
to
見せて
all of the resources that we
くださいました。
have. And something that I'm going to be showing you guys through the glitches is we have a really cool practice tool called
この後
and you guys are going to see just how
グリ
cool
ッ
it
チ
is.
ショーケースっ
I
ていうこ
actually
と
have
で
a customized
今
one,
回
so
の
shout
ラ
out
ン
to
では見られなかっ
Create
た
that
テ
one
クニッ
for
ク
me.
も、
And
ドネート達成という
Mario
こと
is
で
not getting his kid.
見せてくださいます。
Felt wrong. I almost wanted to stall a little
急
bit
に
longer so he could get
エ
his
ンディングが
reward
切れちゃ
for
ったけ
getting
ど、
70 stars,
まあ
but
その準備ですか
didn't
ね。
happen. And we are instead gonna head over to Usamune. Where, like I said, this was a customized tool for me, so it's very cool. And I'm gonna give you guys the that's a picture of me. I'm gonna give you guys
ファイル
some
の
video so
お
we can
なんだこりゃ。
get some of these tricks. I know we all love 16 star, right guys? I'm looking at
Of
this.
course.
Oh yeah.
青い。
All right. So, the first thing I think I want to show you guys is a BLJ, and also just another quick shout for this. My hat has the S on it, which is cool. Okay. So, we are heading over to upstairs. And then within this practice tool, I'm going to select that we have 16 stars or 15, which is basically, it works. And we're going to click through here like we did in 70. But the difference is we are going to do a BLJ. So the reason these work is when you're long jumping, your momentum's getting capped, obviously. But the devs did not think until they released a new version about when you go backwards. So if
いつ
you
もの
click
よく見るや
on
つです
the
ね。
correct kind of slope here, which a slope technically wouldn't work. It's an incline we're looking for. So for example, the staircase in the lobby isn't going to work, but this one will. He will go and zoom up. Just like that. And that's how we click through the door to get through the paper mache walls of this game. And this staircase that we might remember from growing up, that it is an infinite staircase. It never ends no matter what you do. Except if you because you are breaking through that infinity wall that is kind of set here. You're aiming for this like first step basically right here. And then we can go like that. And I like this staircase better, even though it can be more insulting. Because, you get
そうですね。
infinite
この
chances
カテゴリ
you
だ
have
と
to
禁止
reset
さ
to
れ
the
てる。
bottom of the staircase every time you mess it up. And this actually is not the only place in this game that you can BLJ. So I'm going to show you guys a few of those. We'll probably have some time for any donation reads right now as I'm setting up this
I
one.
was actually going to ask because I wanted to announce that we have unlocked the ability. We are bringing Bing Bong to the top of the mountain with us, chat. Thank you so much for
帽子が S っ
that
てなってた
peak
けど何の S なんだろう。
incentive. It came in from these wonderful donations, like this $5 donation from Artificer that just says "Go incentives." Thank you so much for that.
Awesome. Yeah, so we in that time I got to the top of this castle, which normally you would need all of the stars for. You need a wing cap, and then you're going to meet up with Yoshi, and he's going to give you 1,000,000 lives, blah, blah, blah. We actually don't even have the wing cap enabled in this state of the game. And fun fact here, there's a death plane somewhere here, but we're not going to die. We're going to stay alive so that I can show you guys some cool movement you can do on this top of the castle. Alright, so I'm gonna do a save state right here. And that is our first BLJ that you can do right off of the castle top here. And you can fling pretty far depending on how much you're mashing. And usually BLJs like this aren't included in the speedrun. But there is one here that I'm not going to be doing to the speed that you would typically need it within the speedrun, but a lot of really cracked 16-star speedrunners are now implementing a Fire Seed BLJ, and if you don't know what that means, you're going to in a second. Shout out to Schmike, by the way. Oh wait, let me, so it would be, you want to get this elevator started here, and then after that you are, since we're going up with the elevator, able to BLJ off of it. You can also BLJ off of swamps too, which is really interesting here. Alright. Oh my god, I keep on just barely missing the input here. There we go. But it's something that all of us at some point or another, this is what our practice ends up looking like after a little bit.
Oh.
And strats aren't going our way. Sometimes we just start messing with how cool this movement can be. Since it's a sandbox game, we kind of are able to mess with it a little more even. And something like that
なんかもう階段で使ってるイメージが強かったんですけど、普通に使えるんですね。あ、使える場所が一応
one that I am
あるん
doing
です
when I
ね。
do my 16-star speedruns. So
階段以外で初めて見ました。
we're aiming for a high pole grab there and a ledge grab skip here. And it's right here that dictates the cycle. Anytime you see a moving object, that's basically where it is. And we didn't even need the save states. We got up here.
Let's go for try.
Yeah, and then this is left side. This is very scary, but we can't do this obviously when we're grabbing the right coins. We are teetering the line here and trying our best to just get to Bowser because we just need him to unlock the next sequence, which is the final door in the lobby going to the upstairs BLJs. And we have one last trick for you guys, which you know what? It's MIPS. And I'm gonna actually load into Hazy Maze Cave here, so that we can have the exact camera that we would have in 16-star. I'll show you guys this one more time.
While we do that, I just want to announce that we actually have another incentive we've opened for Peak, which is to show off a canon glitch showcase. We have glitches in Peak. I didn't know that, but it is something that was in an earlier version of the game, and I think that we should get that going. We have $600 remaining on that incentive, chat. I think you can do it.
Awesome. So yeah, right now this is where you would be after you've completed all of the main stars of 16 star, and all that would be left is grabbing the star in DDD and just zooming through with all the glitches. 16 star is really interesting for me, at least it's my favorite category. I really like just zoning in on how quick you can grab these stars in early game, and then after that you're just doing a bunch of glitches. So it moves fast. Right here we're doing something called a stall kick right over HMC, a double jump into that door, and we're trying to zoom MIPS over right where we want them, which is right to that door that we're going to clip them through, and we're going to explain why that works. And there he is. We've grabbed him, and he's going to talk to us, and he's going to say he's late for tea, some Alice in Wonderland reference, and we are not grabbing the star this time, but if you grab it, you can always do a 17-star run. And I'm going to explain something very quickly about the clip here, which is that this game came out in 1996. Mario Shadow is a circle, and so is MIPS. So when you grab both of them, they become this snowman kind of situation. And then you are walking over to this corner of the door, and suddenly MIPS Shadow's gone, and that's when you know it's time to crouch. You can grab MIPS, and grabbing MIPS allows you to push yourself through the door. But we obviously walked through this door in 70 star. Why would we need MIPS to walk through a door? And the short answer is you don't. You need him to go through this second door, which is why we've grabbed him from the first one. Right here, we went through this door without a hitch, but if you don't have 30 stars, you're not getting through anything. So what we do in the 16-star speedrun is we're doing that one more time. And we're watching for MIP Shadow, and then you clip right through. You don't need to worry about re-grabbing.
MIP がいれば。
You are heading into DDD. And with that, that is all of the glitches.
MIP にそんな使い道が。
Because this is the custom ROM and I love Chopper. So, yeah. Yeah, if possible though, I'd love to say some final words about
そんな秘めた力を持っていたですね、MIP。
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank Frame Fatales and GDQ for letting me showcase this run on a stage like this. I also want to shout out our host Ophelia. Thank you so much for hosting us today. And I'd love to shout out my commentary team here for doing such an incredible job. I've actually, fun fact, Emmy is the person I've known the longest in Mario 64 speedrunning. It's super absurd, and Karina's
サメに囲まれて
both of them are, and I'm very, very lucky to have these girls in my life and by my side.
囲まれてっていうかぐるぐる周りを泳がれてますけど
Jake and Radu, Neon, who is my first friend in Twitch, Baba, and all my friends and my amazing stream community that have all motivated me to push myself to my potential in speedrunning, streaming, and in general, and for everything that they've done for me in the past few years. Lastly, I would love to give a special shout out to someone we usually shout out every time I do MIPS clip because she taught me it. And I think she's in chat right now. I'd love to shout out Ellie. Her old name was Alisa. She's a very skilled runner in our community, and she took me on to coach me in my first few months playing. And if it wasn't for her, I'm not sure how far into speedrunning I would have ever gotten. I think it's very, very important that we uplift, help, and encourage one another because it motivates the next generation of runners. So, shout out for teaching me 70 in 2022, and anyone who's helped me in Mario in the past 4 years for their patience, time, and taking a chance on me. I hope I made you proud today. And one last note for you guys, if you are watching and you've never gotten involved in speedrunning before and you would like to, if you want to get involved in Mario, we are one of the most welcoming and resource-heavy speedrunning communities out there. Yukikipedia is an incredible website for tutorials. Usumune is what we're using to practice. And if you're looking for a space to interact with the Mario girls, Emily Midwest is a great person to reach out to. Thank you so much for having us, and I hope we can get at least one person to either try out Mario today or check out one of the femme runners. You know, there's me, there's Emmy, Bella, there's Karina, and there's so many of us, so please take a chance on us, and thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you so much for that amazing run. That was fantastic. And I want to just thank you again for it.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for hosting us
話して
today.
る間にスターが1枚2枚とポンポン取られてて、すごい軽快なランでしたね。ということで、ゲーム画面が途切れたので、一応これで、マリオ、スーパーマリオ64の、70スターの方はゲーム、こちらで GG ということで以上となりますね。いや、楽しかったですね。すごく爽快感のある走りを見せてくださいました。コメントの方でいろいろ盛り上げてくださった方々もありがとうございました。まだまだフロストファタルズ2026最終日、まだこれがゲーム一つ目ですので、明日のお昼頃かな。まだまだ続きますので、引き続きお楽しみください。一旦次のゲームの準備に入りますので、こちらで失礼させていただきます。
But you have the option to snipe that throughout the entire peak run. So I would love to see a little bit of safe movement. I would like to see our runner make it through their mountain climb. I am so happy to be with you, but I also want to say that it is the end of my time with you on this finale day. You're doing amazing work out there. You are already moving so fast on our incentives. And I am so happy to hand you over to the amazing voice of Starwind. We will be back in just a moment.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to finale day for this absolutely wonderful Frost Fatales 2026. I'm your host, Starwin X9. You can call me Star, and you all have been absolutely wonderful